Hey guys, it's Spacey Sims, and we are back with more My Next Life as a Villainess, continuing Nichols' route, where we left off. A few days later. Well, now it's a few days later. Not for you. Not for me either. But for Katarina it is. Anyway, a few days later, I'm bored. Another day confined to the mansion. I lounged upon the bed. Keith and the others are busy strategizing, but they kicked me out, saying that I'd just get off subject. Maria and Sophia are making the rounds, cheering up the other nobles. I wanted to go with them, but everyone insisted I get some rest. Maybe due to the nightmare-induced dark circles under my eyes. But I'd rather be with the others. I lounge as such thoughts cross my mind. My hand bumps on something hard. What was that? I turn over to find a book on my bed. Rosie brought it for me with breakfast as a way to kill time. Look, okay. Rosie, you can't keep doing things like this. It's not your route. Oh, that's right. I was going to read this. It would be pointless to keep lying around doing nothing, so I begin at once. Yay, just lie around and read. That's so much better. Because it's not like you can play on your Switch and play Atome games or anything, right? Like, that sucks. Or me lately playing Hogwarts Legacy. Listen, I know J.K. Rowling's a horrible human being at this point, but like, from what I understand, she doesn't get royalties from this game. They basically paid her for it, so like, whatever, the damage is done there. But like, I waited till it was on sale. And I was like, I can't, look. Well, it's so good! It's so good! Game devs did such a good job. It's so much fun. Meanwhile, tell that's my poor other game, like the 7 other games I am in the middle of. Like, I've never finished Fire Emblem Engage. I haven't played Baldur's Gate 3 in several months. But that involves my computer, and I'm just concerned about that, because every time I'm like, there's been like 12 updates since the last time I played, and I'm like, my computer doesn't have a ton of space on it, and I'm really afraid to update it. And like, so I'm like, that's why I stop. That's why I don't do it. But like, also never finished Persona 5 Strikers. But to be fair with Strikers, I was in the middle of doing something and I accidentally went back to menu instead of my last save, and like I lost like 30 minutes worth of stuff, and I was like, you know what, we're done now. And it's been months, but like same thing happened with Baldur's Gate 3. I was deleting saves, like old ones, to free up room, and I accidentally deleted a couple of new ones. Because where you are, if you're in the middle of your saves and you click one and delete, it doesn't just go to the next one. It skips to the top. So I was clicking delete and then click, delete, and then click. And then a couple of times I just did delete, and I went, oh, fuck. And I'd lost like 2 hours worth of like what I had just played. And I was like, I'm just not going to play again until I forgot what I lost. Because otherwise I'll know and it'll make me mad. It's been 6 or 7 months. To be fair. But then I'm like, oh, the update and my computer, and so, yeah. But that was just to say, I decided to play a new game. I'm also in the middle of Hanawase too, but like, sometimes you just want to run around and like do mindless quests and shit like that, and you don't want to like read. I read a lot for you guys, so sometimes like sitting there with an Atome and reading it, it's like, I don't wanna, I read a lot. Like, you know what I mean? But anyway, it's really fucking fun. I don't know how the game will sit there and be like, you've played like 50 hours, and you're like, I feel like I've played a hell of a lot more than that, because I'm pretty sure it said 4 hours the first day I got it. I'm like, I'm pretty sure I played like 6 or 7 hours today, so I don't know about that game. Anyway. But that's exactly what you could be doing here. Just playing it on your Switch, you know? I plug my Switch into my TV downstairs, so it's on a big screen TV. Like, I could also do it up here, but like, this TV isn't as big. It's only slightly smaller, to be fair. I sit a lot closer to this one, so it seems like it's the same size. Anyway, on the cover of the book is printed the words Folk Tales of Quid. Oh. Isn't he sweet? Oh, folktales, huh? How nostalgic! I used to read Sorcier ones as a child. I read them before I hit my head, though. I remember saying, "This is boring," and throwing the book. After regaining my memories, I found romance novels. I bet there are some great folktales, too. If I make it back to Sorcier safely, I'll definitely give Sorcier folktales a shot. I wonder what Quidian folktales are like. Intrigued, I flipped through the pages of stories about princes and princesses. Ah, this is how folktales are. I'm starting to remember the Sorcier ones now. Despite being from different kingdoms, many of the stories are similar. The details change, but the base narrative remains. Flipping through is getting me excited to start reading. Then I come across a page with an unusual picture. The title reads, A Story of Fog. Fog. Talk about perfect timing. Even now, the window view is obscured in heavy mist. Reading on, it seems the story has been passed down for thousands of years. Or 1,000 years. It just says passed down for 1,000 years. Maybe they meant 8,000 years. Again, Tim and Ronald. I can barely contain my interest and flip the page. Oh, look at me get well, not quite CGs, but I guess little background things. Pretty. A long, long time ago, there was a place called Witch's Island. I knew when he was like a story of fog, I'm like, it has something to do with the witch, and it's gonna tie back to the game. Not the game we're playing, the game that she was in her head. You know what I mean? Anyway. A young witch lived there. One day she chanced upon a young man who had landed on the island's coast. However, this young man was actually a prince, sole heir to his kingdom. The prince was found by the warriors of his kingdom and forced to return home. The two were separated, but before the prince departed the island, the witch offered him a jeweled accessory. I love the fact that it's just like the simple background, but it's like really vibrant and pretty, and then it's just like the shadows in the front. With the pretty border. I just like it. Fog was the witch's domain. It held the power to mystify all things. Space, time, all would become ambiguous. With all her magic and love, the witch cast a spell upon a pair of jewels. They shone with the same piercing color as her eyes. Please take it with you, and wish upon this jewel that we might be reunited. If our feelings are mutual, then that wish will come true. What? What else? Whoa. What was this in? No, back up. This whole, like, if our feelings are mutual. Was that Radiant Tale? I can't, now I'm just like, my brain is like drawing a blank, but there was something about like, yes, it was! Yes, it was. There was like a magic stone, and it was like, oh, if your feelings are the same, it'll glow the same color or whatever, like that. And like, that's like that. I seriously, when I read that, I was like, whoa, wait a minute, we've done this before. And it was weird for a minute. Anyway. Stoking her wish inside the jewel, she made the accessory for the man. But it was never used. And no matter how much the wish wished upon her jewel, her feelings went unanswered. Aww. Slowly, the shimmering jewel in the witch's hand was quietly forgotten. Oh. Wait, is this the end? That's kind of sad. It seems like the story is a tragedy. Way sadder than I expected. Although you have to wonder, it's probably even sadder than just like the prince went home and was like, nah, it was cool, I banged that bitch, and then like, whatevs. You know what I mean? Like, the prince probably went home and was like, I love her, and wanted to wish upon the stone or whatever, but was like, but I can't because we can't be together because her realm's over there and mine's here, and I've got to be the king here, and I got to think of my people, and you know what I mean? And he had to forsake his love for the freaking forest witch in order to do right by his country. And you're like, you can, or his kingdom, you know what I mean? And you're like, you can't really blame him because, like, not everything is a fucking Disney story. And you're like, oh, and that hurts more because, you know, oh. They should have written that in there, though. Why do I feel like I've heard of a witch's eye before. I flipped to the next page, still trying to remember. The next story is completely different. It's a humorous love story, and I soon forget all about the tragic romance. Girl, come on, after all the dreams you've been having? The witch and the fog and the fan disc. A few hours later. Oh man, I had way too much tea. I was drinking tea with Sophia and Mary after they returned to the room, and now I'm on my way to the bathroom. Too much tea indeed. Are you okay, Lady Katerina? Sure am. Thank you for coming with me, Maria. No, I just didn't want to leave you alone. I appreciate that, because this place could be haunted, and I don't want to be alone either. Maria smiles softly, as adorable as ever. That's an Otome heroine for you. You keep saying that, and I keep agreeing, but I'm mad about it. Like, this is like the second time she said that. That's an Otome heroine for... Yes. Adorable as ever. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, come to think of it, this could be the world of the fan disc, right? Which means, depending on how Maria's love life unfolds, I could be walking right into a dead end. Since I never played the fan disc myself, I completely forgot. And I still think it's cute, though, because then she's like, oh my god, yeah, you could get a dead end, but now this is your Otome game now. But she doesn't, she's never going to realize that. Because, again, why would you think that? Why would you, if you woke up in an Otome game world and you were a side character or a villainess or whatever, even though you're like, I'm going to try to avoid dying here. Okay, cool. You're like, nah, that's still the main character over there. Maria's still the main character. Not realizing that you just changing the character you end up in, just changing how they react to the people around them and treat the people around them, changes fucking everything. And she, clearly, she's like, yay, we're friends and I'm not gonna die, not realizing that everybody is in love with you and this has become your Otome game, which is what we're playing. Oh god, that's weird. So who would we be if we fell into this game? Are we gonna have to be Frederick? Because that's gonna be weird. I mean, that would just mean Frederick's gonna have to be gay, and with how much he hates women, I mean, I guess. I don't know. I mean, I feel like it's a little cliche there, huh, Frederick? Huh. But, there's no, lady villain in this, so, Interesting. Have fun with that one. Think about that one for a while. Oh yeah, I wanted to ask, is there anyone you're interested in lately, Maria? I'm interested in? Like Prince Jordo, Keith, Prince Alan, or Lord Nickel? Or Silva the Pirate? Hey! Stay away from my fucking pirate. I don't particularly love the idea of letting her have Keith or Alan. I don't love that. If she falls in love with Jordo or Nickel, it's like, well, I mean, I know we're in Nickel's route, but it's like, okay, fine. But and I'm a little it would take a lot of convincing to let her have Keith or Alan, okay? But I will punt this bitch off the island if she touches my pirate or my engineer. Those are, no. That's an absolute hard no. I can't punt her off the boat because we ain't on the boat, but I will shove her into the sea still. There's plenty of sea around this island, okay? We'll find it, and I will shove her in it as much as I like Maria. She ain't touching my pirate or my engineer. My pirateer, okay? That's pirate engineer. That's them. That's my man sandwich. She can't have it. I'm open to negotiation. It's going to be a tough deliberation here with Keith or Alan. Okay? It'll be less difficult if she's intent on Jordo or Nickel. Okay. All right. Maybe we can work something out. Okay. Probably be okay with that. Why not Frederick? We could fix him. Maybe. Not said. He's too old. No, you know what? No. We got the adorable little pirate. The little blonde pirate. And then his little brunette twin could be like Sophia's boyfriend. And then there's other pirate B, who's like the other pirate guy with the little ponytail. There's Mary's boyfriend right there. I got it. All our lady, we got pirate boyfriends for all of our lady friends. when we live here on Pirate Island and I'm married to the pirate captain and have my sexy engineer on the side. Okay, I've got it down. I've got it. I've got this. And then if the boys want to leave, fine. But if they want to stay, then they just get added to my harem. It's fine. It's fine. I mean, it's genius. It's brilliant. I don't understand why they don't do these things. Why do games for men get like harem endings? Why can't I have one? It's just rude. Anyway. Oh, Maria looks confused by my question. Maria's like, actually, the weird thing is I don't think that's going to work because all your friends are lesbians. She doesn't blush, which I take to be a sign she's not interested at all. Then was I only imagining that this is the fan disc section? I haven't dreamed of Atsu recently, so perhaps it really was a random dream. Instead, I've got these nightmares. Seriously, if Amber-Eyed Katarina could go somewhere else, that would be great. Such thoughts cross my mind as I head for the bathroom with Maria. Once we're ready, Maria and I walk right back to the room. I wonder if Maria really isn't interested in anyone. Is something the matter, Lady Katarina? Maria blushes a little, looking concerned. She really is the girl on the game screen. To think of it, in that dream, her game self was talking to Nickel. He said, "The ghost of a witch?" It seems there's a rumor about this. This Blunksy fog is a curse from a witch who was betrayed by her lover. What did I tell you? Okay. Well, for the last 1,000 years, this area has been covered in a deep fog. I had no idea there was such a story. Supposedly, the witch's eyes held her power. But I'm not sure storing magic in one's eye is really possible. In all likelihood, it's just a fairy tale. Although, they did say in the story we read, the fairy tale we read, that the stones that she gave with the same color as her eyes or something like that, right? So, I was waiting for them to be like the beautiful amber stones, and I was going to be like, oh, they didn't say it, but you were thinking it too, weren't you? You're always so serious, Lord Nickel. But 1,000 years ago, there could have been someone with such special powers. I think that's more romantic. Maria, of course, that side of you is what I always... And see that. So then there's the whole, like, remember the evil Katarina being jealous? Because she saw the witch. It's some kind of like little tie in the little Venn diagram of different ideas. It's somewhere overlapping in one of these little things. Like she sees the person on the deck. It's probably the witch, right? The witch, as we saw in the fairy tale and from the game, story, she was betrayed by her lover. So we kind of saw what that happened in the fairy tale, right? He left, never came back. Her powers in her eyes, she kind of gave him those stones that were like the same color as her eyes, so they were probably amber, okay? Katarina was dreaming about the game, and in the game, when she was seeing it, she was seeing Game Nickel flirting with kind of Game Maria, right? Like, oh, Maria, that's why I always... And she hasn't quite realized it, but maybe, like, she obviously we're in Nickel's route, so she's got feelings for him. She just hasn't figured it out yet. You know what I mean? It's going to be one of those, wait, when did my feelings for him become anything more than just we're friends? Holy shit. You know what I mean? But it could just be a stirring, like a little question mark inside of her, like, maybe I'm kind of feeling something, but she hasn't quite realized that she even has that question mark there, right? But the witch does. And that's why she's dreaming of the witch Katarina, or the Katarina with the amber eyes, is the witch who's can somehow pulling out those feelings, that jealousy, that envy, because, like, the witch was betrayed, like, her lover never came back, so and now Katarina's, like, dreaming of Nickel and Maria flirting. You know what I mean? You see where I'm going? Like, something like that. So, So Set's kind of an antagonist, but also a side one, because again, we're gonna take Maria. Oh, never mind. They're off in jail somewhere, so that's just question mark. And now we have a witch. Not sure we needed the witch part. I'm just saying. I get we need something else aside from Ryle, because you can't keep doing the Ryle thing over and over. You're like, yeah, we've done this before. So we kind of had 2 bits of his story. We kind of got around. Okay. Well, and it's because it's not even like, well, in one he was evil villain and we killed him, and then the next one he, repented. It's like he kind of repents in both of them and kind of feels guilty about it in both. So it's like, you can't keep doing that, because then it's like the same. You're like, yeah, okay. If you're gonna give us the answer as early as Keith's route, you can't keep doing that for the rest of the game. You know what I mean? And Set being evil, we kind of know, but he's just off in the background and we barely see him. So when he does show up, we're like, oh, right, yeah, he's a bad guy too. And then we never see him, though. We barely saw him at the end of Keith. We've barely seen him here. We saw him in the common route. But that's it. Like, so I really thought they were going to go more in depth with, like, him and his shit. But I guess not. So now we brought in a whole third witch plot. Okay. All right. Was it necessary? I don't know, but I'm not complaining. It's interesting. I definitely didn't see it happening, I figured we were going to go down the Set kind of is the evil antagonist this time, but like, nope, there's a witch. Suddenly the contents of the dream pop clearer into my head, but something feels odd. What was that? No matter, it's more important that I find out whether Maria had that conversation with him here too. If she had that conversation with Nickel, we can assume the fan disc is started. Hey, Maria, have you ever talked to anyone about a ghost of a witch before? A ghost of a witch? It's weird that your friends don't think you're on drugs when you ask them questions like this. They're just like, just Katarina being kooky, and then they just go on, and it's like, someday when you start taking drugs, your friends are never going to notice. Because you've been asking them weird-ass fucking questions like this your whole life. Maria stares at me blankly. It's just like she did in game. But judging by that, she doesn't know yet? It seems like she's yet to speak to Nickel about it. Relief rushes through me. Huh. But why? Tilting my head, I wonder why I feel so relieved. Because you're in love with him. See? That's what I'm saying. The witch knows. But then, I feel someone watching me. Lady Katarina, what's wrong? I felt like someone was staring at me. I always feel like some birdie's watching me. And I have no privacy. My bird's with me, but you can't sing somebody is watching me when you sing that song. It's some birdie, because he's always... It's also like I Want to Dance with Somebody by Whitney Houston. It's I Want to Dance with Some Birdie. Because I sing them obnoxiously. Because I can't sing well, so I just purposely make it even worse. And I sing to my bird. He hates it. Peeping? Are you peeping because I was singing to you? Oh, don't bite the headset. Nobody wants that in their ear. Who's peeping, though? You can peep. No, you're not going to... Oh, yeah. You're going to say hello to people? No, not biting the headset. You going to give kisses? No? Alright, fine. Whatever. He squeaks when I turn my head away. Like, you could probably still hear him, to be fair. Anyway, I felt like someone was staring at me. I turn around and notice that a nearby door is cracked open. Is someone there? Somehow I'm oddly curious. Drawn to the door, I step inside. Well, at least Maria's with us, and she can run and get help. What the... Huh? I wonder what this room is for. It doesn't feel like the others. No, it's like a storage room. Lady Katarina, is something the matter? I felt like someone was in here, so I came to check. I wonder what this room is. It looks like things on display in the gallery lounge are here. She's right. It appears that this is the place where the pirates are hoarding all the stolen trinkets from the vinculum. Wait, wasn't there... Did Rozzy mention something or somebody when we were in the gallery lounge about like a witch's eye or something like that? Did we hear about that before? Now I'm like back in the common route, like 16 years ago. Well, they are pirates. I'm sure they took anything of value. Huh. But why was this door open? Wouldn't they keep it under lock and key? Did they just forget? Whatever the case, Silva might be upset if he catches us in here. I turn to leave, but I see from the corner of my eye something glittering in the darkness. Yeah. Okay, the necklace, and it is amber colored like her eye. Okay, so that story wasn't fake. Oh, this. Okay, good, we're gonna get that flashback. That necklace is called the Witch's Eye. Okay, yeah, no, I wasn't. Okay. I didn't remember until she walked in and mentioned the gallery lounge, and I was like, wait a minute. I guess we should have. Okay, so someone will remind me. Did when the first time we said anything about the Witch's Eye, did we go, oh, so there's going to be like a whole witch plot line? Did I expect that when this happened the first time and I just forgot about it? Because, like, honestly, I don't remember. Right. This was the necklace I was looking at in the gallery lounge when I met Rozzy for the first time. Witch's Eye. It's so beautiful. But this color reminds me of something. It's just so funny how derpy she is. She's like, this color reminds me of something. You were literally just thinking of amber-eyed Katarina like 2 minutes ago. I am, at least for me, the Witch's Eye part was like a month or so ago. So, like, we can't blame me. Okay? Sorry, Bird, you okay? What happened? I didn't even move. Are you okay? You just flapped for no reason. I didn't hit you, did I? I don't think so. Like, did you get scared when I moved my hand? Were you sleeping? Sorry. Lady Katarina? Maria's voice echoes in the distance. He just, like, flinched like he was going to fall over, but, like, he's sitting on my shoulder. I know I don't have shoulders, but they're not that small. Maria's voice echoes in the distance. But my thoughts are hazy. I can feel myself being drawn to the necklace. Steal it. What? I didn't say anything. The amber sheen glistens mystically. I have to hurry and take it. The moment my finger touches the necklace, there's a flash. My consciousness fades to nothing. Uh-oh. Now are we possessed by the witch? Others? Lady Katarina, are you okay? I won't forgive him. Oh, we got possessed by the witch. I think Maria should be able to figure out we're possessed by the fact that our eyes changed from blue to brown. Huh? That man. I will never forgive that traitor. Lady Katarina, someone, please help. Should never have touched it. I know I did say steal it, but like that was, you shouldn't listen to me. Jewel of emotions. I can't believe that we got possessed by a witch. I did not have that on my bingo card for this game. Lady Katarina, are you okay? Hey, Katarina, what's the matter? Katarina. I must have fallen asleep. What's going on? Head is light. My thoughts are fuzzy. Rubbing my sleepy eyes, I find myself in a pitch black space. What? Where am I? I look to the left, then to the right. Nothing but black. What was I doing before I fell asleep? I cranked the wheels in my head, trying to figure out what happened before I lost consciousness. Not really your fault, you didn't fall asleep, you got possessed. I think I was... right. I found a necklace in the room with mountains of treasure. I touched it and then... Huh? What happened after that? I can't remember anything past touching the necklace. I hear something far away. Sounds like someone sniffling. Who's there? Is anyone there? No response. But if they're crying, maybe it's someone who was brought here like me. They must be all alone. I need to figure out where we are, but in order to do that, I need to find this person. I stand up and roll up my sleeves. I begin to walk through the darkness, following the sound of the crying voice. Only Nickel's kiss will bring us back to our senses. Seriously, are we going that route? Because that's funny. Is this Katerina? We all came rushing upon hearing Maria's scream, but what we find is a Katerina I don't recognize. Ugh! I will never forgive that man! I will have him grovel before me! What's going on? Her eyes have changed color. See, at least this is nice. Because most of the time, if you think about it, like, they're like, she was acting weird and whatever, and you're like, I was possessed by the ghost of a witch, and they're like, yeah, okay, likely story, crazy. But like this time they're like, her eyes went from blue to brown. That's not fucking normal. So she's possessed by the ghost of a witch. Okay, all right. And you know, did she eat something off the floor? I warned her time and time again not to eat stuff like mushrooms. I can't blame Keith for thinking that we're high on a mushroom. I've never heard of a mushroom like this, though. Maria, could you explain what happened?
Yes, she was her usual self until a moment ago. The second she touched that necklace, she started acting like this.
Necklace? Katerina, are you alright? Let's go back to the room so you can rest. When I approach Katerina, she finally seems to take notice of us. She was ranting and raving, but suddenly she turns disconcertingly lucid.
That hair, those eyes. I found you.
Her sensual look sets me back, totally unlike her usual self. She reaches out and grabs me by the collar. Oh my god, is she gonna kiss you?
I'll have you face your punishment for betraying me.
Katerina grins at me and laughs. She makes entirely no sense. Rather, she's too close. We're right in front of Jordo. I try to create some distance, but her grip is too strong. Clearly, Katerina's not herself.
Lady Katerina, have your feelings for my brother finally awoken? Sophia, this is not the time!
I don't think that's it.
Right, this seems like a completely different person. I think so too. It looks like something is possessing her.
I love the fact that they just got there like, the Scooby Gang is on the fucking ball in this one, Jesus. Certainly, this is no case of food poisoning. I can only assume the necklace is some sort of magical device. Well, I mean, that's true. We do have magic in this world, so I guess being possessed by a magical necklace does make way more sense in this world than anywhere else, so. Still, I'm gonna give the Scooby Gang for being on point, okay?
I've never heard of a magical device that could change your personality.
Just what is that necklace? Everyone studies the necklace. Oh, no, right, what's-his-face? Everyone studies the necklace. We find an engraving on its pedestal with the words, Witch's Eye.
Then they should have had it somehow in glass that can never be touched and never be taken out. What the fuck were they thinking, just leaving it where anybody could touch it willy-nilly?
A witch's eye?
It appears to be the name of the necklace.
I see. Break this and all will be well, no? Jordo's like, let's just smash it. Jordo's smile is... Oh, God, I keep reading it like me. Jordo's smile is devious. Grabbing the witch's eye, he slams it to the floor, but...
A fruitless endeavor. That jewel holds the power of a witch's magic. The likes of you will never scratch it. Witch's magic? Let's look into this witch's eye. We must save Lady Katerina.
The others nod, expression stiff. Lady Katerina, still gripping my collar, continues to laugh. I'm just very glad that they weren't like, why is she acting? They were like, she must be possessed. Sounds right. Well, except for Keith. Did you eat mushrooms? And like, this ain't mushrooms. Her eyes are a different color. I think she's possessed. That sounds legit. All right, let's go with that. You know? But like, goddamn points. Bunch of Velmas up in here. I'm proud of them. In the darkness, the only sounds are my footsteps and that crying voice. It's probably us as a child. With only that as my guidance, I wander aimlessly. Finally, I spot a small figure huddled on the floor, or its little witch. Oh, what a relief! Someone's there! It's probably us. Oh, don't need my headset. Are you okay? Did something happen?
This is the last chapter. Huh. Oh yeah, it's baby Katerina. I freeze. The girl I'm looking at is my own childhood self. My child self, face drenched in tears, glares at me with terrifying eyes. Wow, you really made me wait. Hurry up and get me out of here. I want to see Prince Jordo, you fool. What? Chin stuck out. The child crosses her arms, bossily. It's the little kid that we stuck in here when we figured out who we were. When I stand there dumbfounded, she starts to throw a tantrum. Yeah, it's the little bitch one. When we hit her head, she got stuffed back. What are you, a buffoon? Are you even listening to me? Are those ears just for show? I was so close to marrying Prince Jordo. Hurry up and get me out of here. Is this me at 8 years old? Might I ask your name and age? The young Katerina looks at me like I'm some kind of blithering oaf. I'm Katerina Clays. I'm 8 years old. How do you not know that? Is it okay to stab your younger self? I knew it. But her personality is just like the one I had before regaining the memories of my past life. Why are the 8-year-old me and the current me stuck here in the dark? I'm still completely baffled, but the 8-year-old Katerina stomps her foot in irritation. Because somebody else, we possessed her, we knocked her out when we got our memories of our past life and became someone else. But this almost makes it seem like, when the person you were in our world popped in and took over Katerina's body and shoved out 8-year-old Katerina, and that's why she's here in the dark, and now we're here in the dark because Witch took over and shoved us in the back. Well, shit. That's what it seems like. Hurry up and take me to Prince Jordo! He's my ideal prince! What? Prince Jordo? Why? Hey, there's nothing wrong with Jordo. I'm sorry, Jordo fans. She's being a little mean to him. There's nothing wrong with him. He's sweet and a little goofy. Adorable. It's none of your business! Hurry up and do as I say! I'm gonna tell my father on you and everyone will shun you! She definitely acts like the Katerina from the game. Before hitting my head and regaining my memories, this was how I acted. They say my personality changed after that, but until then, I really was like this. It's villainous Katerina Clays in the flesh. But who can blame her? Being stuck in this place all alone, I'd be scared and lonely too. Only natural. She is me, but it's hard to think of her that way when she's right here. I can't help but feel pity for this little Katerina. It's okay, I'll go search for a way out. We'll go find Prince Jordo together, okay? And what's more, you're gonna make so many amazing friends, like Lord Nicol and Lady Sophia. I want her to feel safe, so I crouch down to her height and look her in the eyes. Katerina just humps. I could care less about friends! Hurry up and take me, you fool! Huh? She glares intensely at me and swings her hand. Surprised, I close my eyes on instinct, but... Oh, she's not gonna hit me? Slowly, I open my eyes to find the young Katerina standing there, looking blankly ahead. Now baby Katerina's possessed by the witch. Tears stream down her cheeks, and her blue eyes have turned to amber. Ah! Amber eyes! I only have the worst of memories when it comes to that color. I lurch backward, but she just stares at me hollowly. I miss him. I just want to see him. So why? Scary. I want to get away as fast as I can, but I also can't bring myself to abandon this little Katerina. Great, now we have 3 personalities. Shit. People are going to be like, which one is she now? She's mean Katerina. Which one is she? She's now the amber eye. She's the witch. Okay, and then you pop out and they're like, which one are you now? Like, oh, this is normal Katerina. Like, great. Who is it that you want to see? I ask with trepidation. Katerina turns to me with tearful amber eyes and a low whisper. Is this how we figure out we're in love with Nicol, by having a conversation with the witch and then we finally admit our feelings and then she's like, okay, cool, and then she pieces out and everything's happy? Because this seems very bizarre, but sure. The prince that betrayed me? Oh, this is not speaking the adult witch voice. Well, maybe. Whatever. We have baby Katerina, we have witch voice, and then we have normal Katerina. Okay. In other words, Katerina touched this suspicious accessory and was possessed.
Precious, precious minutes have passed. We're working desperately to find a solution. Organized all the information we obtained from Katerina. Seems there's been a grudge left upon the necklace. In ordinary circumstances, I would have shrugged it off as a simple story, but this is exactly what I'm going to do when I die. I'm going to grudge all my shit. So anytime, it's just going to be me haunting everybody. I'm just saying. What did I say last time? I hold grudges, and I have a ton of unfinished business because there's so many Atome games that I'll never get to play when I die. So I'm just saying. Like, Jesus. How dare you call me suspicious? I lived an honest life. If only it wasn't for that man. The Katerina standing before us is clearly not the woman we know. Worse still, the engraving on the stand claims the witch's eye belonged to a genuine witch. We've concluded that the one possessing our Katerina must be that very same witch. I couldn't care less about that! Return Lady Katerina's body to her immediately! I don't know whether you're a witch or not, but Lady Katerina is precious to us. Never! I will not go until I get my revenge on the man who betrayed me! You know he's long dead, right? Which means you must be satisfied before you'll release her? That's right. There's something I must do. I will not pass while this grudge remains. That's why I've stayed in this necklace. So, what is it that you need to do? Keith asks. The amber... Oh god, right, I keep reading this like me, and Keith asks. The amber-eyed Katerina looks at Jordo and smiles. Isn't it obvious? I'm gonna torture the man who resembles my beloved. You wish to torture someone for looking like him? Just as I'm about to ask who she means, Katerina takes my hand. Huh? I've been watching you this whole time. I know you love this girl. But here you are, feeling guilty toward her fiancé. A pathetic attempt at suppressing your feelings. What? Oh my god, she just outed us! What is she saying? After all my efforts to keep it concealed, she reveals everything before Jordo and the others? I don't know how to react. I'm afraid to look at Jordo's face. I intended to keep my feelings for Katerina hidden for all of eternity. Not a soul should have learned. Brother, I'm sorry for bothering you in your stupor, but we've all known for ages. Well, Lady Katerina aside, it would have been obvious to most anyone. Exactly. Anyone but Katerina. Jordo's like, yeah. He's like, you know that I'm in love with her? He's like, everybody in this fucking room is in love with her. Give me a break. Jordo's like, you, Keith, Alan, Mary, maybe Maria a little. The only reason your sister isn't is because she's rooting for you, but if it wasn't for you, she would be too. Like, dude, come on. What? It's one dire revelation upon another. I shake my head, desperate to deny it all. It's funny, like, was Nickel, like, clueless that everybody else was in love with me? You guys are imagining things. There's no way I could have feelings for... You don't want to hurt either her or your friends. You'd rather take the entire burden yourself, would you? Well, watch as I put all your endurance and effort to the pyre. There's nothing I love more than watching your despair. You hold that great of a grudge toward me? No, toward the person you loved? The witch in Katerina's body cackles. Hey, Nickel, I want you to whisper words of love to me. Her eyes thin. With a smirk, she leans into my chest. Her mannerisms are nothing like Katerina's. I find myself frozen to the spot. What does she mean by that? She was watching this whole time? She wants to see my despair? You mean to say that so long as my brother whispers of words of love to you, you'll let Lady Katerina go? This is an interesting way to confess your feelings. That's a horrible thing to ask. Mary, shut up! Mary's like, how dare you? Because then Lady Katerina might hear and then she'll fall in love with him and not me. Indeed, it's not pleasant at all. If he has to confess his feelings while she's possessed, I cannot accept that. And then Sophia's like, no, he should confess his feelings to her, not you. More importantly, it would be beyond absurd for me to confess my feelings for an engaged woman. I turned to Jordo, unsure how to proceed. He's focused on the witchy Katerina. his ambivalence furrowing his brows. What'll you do if he refuses?
Let's see. Well, she'll never again return. I am a witch, far beyond her strength.
I'm considering the fact that I have no magical power, yeah.
But fear not. When I'm satisfied, I'll let her go without complaint. Although the pressure of 2 souls in 1 body may erase her first. No!
Sister will disappear.
No, I don't want that. Hurry and get out of her. I think I've already made my terms clear.
2 people in her... Well, we got 3 in there, so whatever. At this rate, Katerina will disappear. I feel like that's going to be a bad end. When faced with such an inconceivable reality, everything else is cut away. We've only made 1 save, so... Katerina disappear. Before I tell her how I feel? The thought cuts my breath short. The words I never intended to say. And the choice I made so that my childhood friends might find their happiness. I endured it all just for everything to be stolen away like this. Hey, Jordo. I know. We'll comply with her wishes. Jordo, but... It's for Katerina. Nickel, please do this. To be asked of this by even her fiancé, I find myself rooted in place. The woman before me, the woman I love, no. And this is a witch in the form of that woman. I intended to live the rest of my life concealing my feelings for Katerina. Even if I were to confess to her, I would have wanted those words to be for her alone. But now everything's been ruined. Perhaps this is the despair the witch spoke of. I understand. I will comply. Request.
Well then, why don't we head somewhere we can be alone?
With a conceited smile so unlike Katerina, she wraps her arm around mine. A soft, feminine hand embraces my own. Yet inside I'm empty. Hey, at least you don't have to confess in front of everybody staring at you. Are you sure about this? Though she may have Katerina's appearance, it's not her. In order to get her back, we have no choice but to agree to the witch's terms. But my thoughts and feelings aside, Nickel's the one bearing the greatest burden. That's not the Katerina we love.
True, it's just as you say. It must be horrid having to spend time with that witch to get Lady Katerina back. I wonder if my brother will be okay.
I don't think she'll harm him. It is possible she... No, never mind. Enter a private room. For some reason, she leaves the door ajar and then approaches me. Everyone's gonna spy.
Now, how will you express your love for me? Have you nothing to say? I am the woman you love.
No, this is to save Katerina. But I cannot seem to form the words. Not out of courtesy for Jordo. I know I need to do this to save her. But this isn't Katerina. Knowing that, the words catch in my throat. I love her carefree laugh. Love how she eats and never shows the slightest interest in romance. Her demure looks, the way she looks at me and mutters the words devilish aura as she blushes. The more I remember all of the things I love, the more my mouth feels dry. I simply cannot bring myself to speak. Although she may look like Katerina, the Katerina I love is nowhere to be found. My apologies. This really is too difficult. I can't lie like this.
So you don't care what happens to her?
No, I do. But Katerina is my childhood friend and Jordo's fiancé. I could never do something to tear them apart.
Aye. This girl thinks their engagement is merely a scheme to keep other girls off of him. Simply an act of convenience.
She thinks that?
Perhaps if they were truly in love it would have been different, but this is merely the prince's one-sided crush, just like yours. Now, you need to do this properly if you want to save her, Nickel. Or is your love a sham after all? That's... Just then I hear her necklace clink. My eyes fall to her neck, but the necklace is not the witch's eye. Oh, memory scenario. Protecting your smile. It was the first summer since Katerina and the others entered the academy, and during one unusually hot day, she was acting strangely since the morning. Is something wrong, Katerina? I inquired about her odd behavior. She gasped and looked troubled, but then shook her head as if to hide it. It's nothing. Clearly something had happened, but with her unwilling to speak of it, I didn't press for more. Ever since that day, I spotted her around the academy during breaks and after school. She would bend down and search under benches, climb trees, and squint around. She was clearly searching for something. But it seems Katerina doesn't wish to open up to me. It's all due with Sophia, but it seemed that Katerina had also not confided in her. Didn't he give us didn't he say in one of the earlier ones, and obviously I'm getting this because he's like, oh, the necklace, something about a necklace, and then, oh, it's not the witch's eye, and then we got the memory scenario. And he said in the one where he was thinking, he got the book, he made the book cover for us, that the prior year he had given us a necklace or whatever, right? So I'm going to guess that we lost the necklace he gave us and we just don't want to admit that we lost it and we're trying to find it, and she's wearing that right now. You know what I mean? So yeah, anyway. And normally it would be best to just leave it alone, but this time I found it difficult to ignore Katerina's distress. One day I finally mentioned it to her, lapsed in a slouch, she confessed to me. I'm sorry. You see, I dropped the necklace you gave me for my birthday. Necklace I gave her? I hardly expected to hear that. When Katerina was 15, I gifted her a necklace. Sophia helped me, saying it had a motif from a novel she liked. Though Katerina never accepts jewelry, this one was a replica of one the protagonist had worn. She seemed pleased. I had no idea she was still wearing it. I heard from Sophia she took a liking to it, but I never expected her to be wearing it even then. Furthermore, she spent all this time searching for it, for the necklace I had given her, or still wearing. See, I knew. Her frantic searching told me it was precious to her. That made me happy. But I had given it to her to make her smile, not to guilt her over losing it. It feels wrong to tell her not to worry. Considering Katerina's sentiments, I hesitated. I didn't want to see her looking glum, so I offered words of encouragement. I see. Thank you for telling me, Katerina. There's no need for concern. We'll search for it together. But I pondered what I could say to help Katerina feel better. She looked so apologetic. I could find another and give that to her in its place, but I was sure it wasn't a matter of replacing it. I also wished to cherish the necklace that she had been taking care of since her birthday. In order to see her happy again, I had no choice but to find the lost necklace. Do you have any idea where you might have left it? Not at all. When did you notice it was gone? It was about 3 days ago. I was about to change into my pajamas and it was gone. I know I had it on in the morning. She had it on in the morning, but lost it by night. My first thought was that the chain broke, but as the one who gifted it, I knew that it was well made and sturdy. Doesn't mean a chain's not going to break if you wear it all the time. I imagined it would require some force to break it. And then the next possibility is, before changing into her pajamas, she could have dropped it, or else taken it off herself and forgotten. And changing, ideas sprung to mind. Thinking of it, it has been quite hot recently. Do you recall if you went out to your field? Yeah, I definitely did. It's almost time for the tomato harvest. If you went out there, then you must have changed into your work clothes. Do you remember if you wore your necklace then? Right. I remember being careful not to snag it as I changed. In that case, the only possibility left was that she took it off herself. Do you remember if you took it off before you got to the field? Took it off? Right, perhaps instead of losing it, you might have taken it off and forgotten it. I asked gently, and Katerina crossed her arms, thinking hard. Then she gasped. Oh, right, it was so hot that day. I knew I'd work up a sweat in the field, so I took it off when I changed and didn't know where to put it. She cocked her head, humming as she thought. Suddenly she gasped and timidly reached into her pocket. Heard rustling from her dress, and out came a small box and several wrapped snacks. Wow. How did she fit so much in that pocket? I was rather impressed, but the necklace was nowhere to be found. Wow, Lord Nickel, we found it! What? I looked over and she held out the small box and opened it. Inside sat the necklace. I had a feeling I'd lose it if I just tossed it into my pocket, so I put it in a candy box for safekeeping. I just finished the candy. I'm so glad I didn't drop it. Thank you so much, Lord Nickel. Katerina pressed the necklace to her face with a grin. So relieved to see her brighten up that I smiled too. I was happy to be able to protect her smile. Glad I was able to be of service. The devilish aura! Huh? What's the matter, Katerina? Nothing. Katerina suddenly started to act awkwardly. I tilted my head at the sudden change. She tried to put on the necklace, but... Huh? Without a mirror, she seemed to struggle, so I offered my help. Would you like me to put it on you? Here, hand it to me. Really? Thank you. Then here, please help me. Katerina turned so her back faced me and gathered her hair. Thought I heard her mutter, "Now I don't have to look at him." I lowered my gaze to her neck and froze. It was so thin and ladylike. Who knew? Who knew? It's like a Victorian ankle. He's like, oh, a neck! The bored boy. What's the matter, Lord Nickel? Nothing. Sorry, I'll put it on now. I remembered the few times Keith scolded Katerina for letting her guard down too easily. Finally, I realized what he meant. This, too, is part of who she is. She was honest with her feelings, and to me, it was beautiful. How does it feel? After I secured the necklace, I leaned around to look at her face. Yes, it's fine. For some reason, she was bright red. I worried that she was getting heat stroke from all of her searching in the sun and rushed her to the infirmary. I rushed her to the infirmary! She's blushing. Anyway, so my eyes fall to her neck, but the necklace is not the witch's eye. This is a necklace without a jewel. The very one I gifted her for her 15th birthday. See, she was wearing it all this time. Sophia told me about that necklace. It was the same necklace worn by the protagonist of Katerina's favorite romance novel. Katerina usually refuses gifts because she doesn't like expensive jewelry, but for some reason she accepted mine. I still remember her smile when I gave it to her. I want to see her again. I have to do this. Oh, you know what? I think we might go a little long because I was like, oh, that'll be the perfect. But now it's a CG, and look at how sad his little face looks. All right. Katerina, This is shaking a hand upon her cheek and draw a breath. It's to see Katerina once more. I should be able to do anything. I will do as the witch says. Get back the woman I love. Katerina, I just fell for you. Is she not the woman hearing this? Oh, focus, Nickel. For Katerina's sake. Because you were the only person who understood me. I'm forced to confess my forbidden love like this. Wish I could have said it to the real her. Oh, we'll hear. Katerina, please return to me. So very happy. Katerina, you affirmed me. Katerina before me is a fake. These words intended for my Katerina. Each one cuts a new wound in my heart. So, tell me more. It's not enough. I want you to show me the truth of your love. Tell me everything. Katerina would never say that. Words remind me that my Katerina isn't here. My heart sinks deeper into despair. If she were really here, what kind of face would she make as she learns my true feelings? I want to know. Oh, it can never be. I have one wish. Wish I could say this all to you. That's why I will continue. We'll bring her back. Oh, now we're Katerina. She's gonna hear it all. I guarantee you. You know what, though? Now I am gonna end it. I thought we were gonna actually get the long confession scene, and I was like, okay. But now we're gonna end it. But I guarantee you she's gonna hear him in her mind, like,
Oh, she's gonna hear it all, even though she wasn't looking him in the eyes as he said it. Oh! Anyway, I will see you next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.